Shalom Mishpachim, welcome to His Narrow Bridge. Our time together today is meant to immerse ourselves in the Word of Yahweh. It is meant to be a personal time of connection to the Word for each of us. I will read each word as translated in English in an interlinear Hebrew Bible. These shows are pre-recorded, so I will be in chat when they air. Feel free to use the chat to post anything that comes to your mind as we read the word. We will begin with prayer, followed by time for each of us to say our own personal prayers. Our beloved friend Alan Horvath taught us, make Elohim number one on a list of one. We pray in the name of Elohim, which includes Yahweh, Yeshua, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Thank you, Elohim, for our lives and all you provide. We ask for a hedge of protection around our mishpacha as we pray and study. We love you dearly. We are your children. We come to you with questions as we seek our personal relationships with you. Please help us learn. If any darkness enters our time together, we ask you now to rebuke it. We will now listen to your word as we immerse ourselves in it and let it speak to us.
Acts chapter 27. And Festus commanded respecting him that he should be sent to Italy to Caesar. And he delivered Paul and other prisoners with him to a certain man, a centurion of the Augustan cohort, whose name was Julius. And when we were to depart, we embarked in a ship which was from the city of Adramyttium, and was going to the country of Asia. And there embarked with us in the ship Aristarchus, a Macedonian of the city of Thessalonica. And the next day we arrived at Zidon, and the centurion treated Paul with kindness, and permitted him to visit his friends and be refreshed. And on sailing from there, because the winds were against us, we sailed around to Cyprus. And we passed over the city of Cilicia and Pamphylia, and arrived at Myra, a city of Lycia. And there the centurion found a ship of Alexandria, which was going to Italy, and he set us on board of it. Verse 7. And as it was hard at navigating, we had scarcely arrived after many days over against the Isle of Cnidos. And because the wind would not allow us to pursue a straight course, we sailed around by Crete, and came opposite the city of Salome. And with difficulty, after sailing about it, we arrived at a place called the Fair Havens, near to which was the city called Lassa. And we were there a long time, until after the day of the Jewish feast. And it was hazardous then for anyone to go by sea, and Paul counseled them. Footnote 205, this is Yom Kippur. Verse 10, and said, Men, I perceive that our voyage will be attended with peril and with much loss, not only of the cargo of our ship, but also of our lives. But the centurion listened to the pilot and to the owner of the ship more than to the words of Paul. And because that harbor was not advantageous for wintering in, many of us were wanting to sail from it, and if possible to reach and to winter in a certain harbor of Crete, which was called Phenice, and which opened towards the south. And when the south wind breezed up, and they hoped to arrive as they desired, we began to sail around Crete. And shortly after, a tempest of wind arose upon us, called typhonic Euroclydon, and the ship was whirled about by the wind, and could not keep head to it, and we resigned the ship to its power. And when we had passed a certain island called Syra, we could hardly retain the boat. And after hoisting it on board, we girded the ship around the waist and made it strong. And because we were afraid of running aground, we pulled down the sail, and so we drifted. And as the storm raged violently upon us, the next day we threw goods into the sea. And on the third day, with our own hands, we threw away the tackling of the ship. And as the storm held on for many days, and as no sun was visible, nor moon, nor stars, all hope of our surviving was entirely cut off. And as no one had taken a meal of food, Paul now stood up in the midst of them and said, "If you had given heed to me, O men, we should not have sailed from Crete, and we should have been exempt from this loss and peril. And now I counsel you to be without anxiety, for not a soul of you will be lost, but only the ship. For there appeared to me this night the messenger of that Elohim to whom I belong and whom I serve. And he said to me, Fear not, Paul, for you art yet to stand before Caesar. And behold, Elohim has made a gift to you of all them that sail with you. Therefore, men, be you courageous, for I confide in Elohim that it will be as was told to me. Yet we are to be cast upon a certain island. And after the 14 days of our roaming and tossing on the Adriatic Sea, at midnight the sailors conceived that they approached land. And they cast the lead and found 20 fathoms. And again they advanced a little, and they found 15 fathoms. And as we feared, or else we should be caught in places where were rocks, they cast 4 anchors from the stern of the ship, and prayed for the morning. Verse 30. And the sailors sought to flee out of the ship, and from it they lowered down the boat into the sea, under pretense that they were going in it to make fast the ship to the land. And when Paul saw it, he said to the centurion and to the soldiers, Unless these remain in the ship, you cannot be saved. Then the soldiers cut the boat rope from the ship and let the boat go adrift. And while it was not yet morning, Paul advised them all to take food, saying to them, In consequence of the peril, it is now the 14th day that you have tasted nothing. Therefore I entreat you to take food for the sustenance of your life, for not a hair from the head of any of you will perish. And having said these things, he took bread and gave glory to Elohim before them all, and he broke it and began to eat. And they were all comforted, and they took nourishment. And there were of us in the ship 276 souls. Footnote 206 is a technicality. Verse 38. And when they were satisfied with food, they lightened the ship, and took the wheat, and cast it into the sea. And when it was day, the sailors knew not what land it was, but they saw on the margin of the land an inlet of the sea, whither, if possible, they intended to drive the ship. And they cut away the anchors from the ship, and left them in the sea. And they loosened the bands of the rudder, and hoisted a small sail to the breeze, and made way towards the land. And the ship struck upon a shoal between 2 channels of the sea, and struck fast upon it, and the forward part rested upon it, and could not be moved, but the forward part was shattered by the violence of the waves, and the soldiers were inclined to kill the prisoners, or else they should resort to swimming and escape from them. But the centurion kept them from it, because he was wanting to preserve Paul, and those who were able to swim he commanded to swim off first and pass to the land, and the rest he made to transport themselves on planks and on other timbers of the ship, and so they all escaped safe to land.
Those aren't scales, that's Bach.
Then I guess I'm not good at Bach.
Well, if you can't play Bach, you can't play anything. He's the foundation. What you are destroying is nothing more than a G major triad. Sometimes it's inverted, but the notes are always the same. 1 3 5, 1 3 5.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Pythagoras.
What are you mumbling?
I get it.
You can't just get it. It takes years of practice. This lesson is over.
Do you realize the ratio of whole numbers that governs harmony is like the same ratio that governs all of geometry?
Of course.
Well, you can't play Eensy Weensy Spider.
Where is the feeling for the notes you're playing? You know, without that, you make noise. Not music.
Wow, that was great.
No one likes a suck-up. So just play, and those are quarter notes, not half notes. You can count, can't you? Thank God. You can
Well, you don't have to slam the door in my face. It's not very nice.
get off my porch.
It's cool.
It's Bach. Can't believe she ever looked this beautiful.
Well, I guess everybody gets old, huh?
It's not just that. I mean, she's sour on the inside. Maybe it's all the scotch.
Or, you know, fat ripples.
Yeah. I'll let you give back to Miles Davis.
No, you don't have to go. What's up?
Just found out that my dad has a brother he never told us about.
Wow.
Yeah, I found this letter and I asked my mom about it and she totally denied it. And then I asked my dad and he said it was some distant cousin. And my parents lying to my face. What's so hard about telling the truth?
I don't think we'll ever understand him. Let's never be like that.
What if it just happens? Like skin getting all wrinkly.
We won't let it.
This recording, it took days. In concert, you have one chance, one moment. I was that piece. Its beauty, it fed me, it made me live. And in my first concert, 1,000 people listened to me bungle my way through it, all life gone out of it, just fear and nerves.
For more information about these videos, look at the video description and click more. You can then have links to my YouTube channel and the YouTube playlist, which has all the Aramaic English New Testament videos, Bible Hub links, and Odiote. So this is useful because you can click a chapter and go word by word through the scriptures and get details about each word and where they are used throughout the Bible.